Hoy vamos a preparar tostadas.
Hey guys, welcome back to At the Table. Today we are joined again by one of my favorite friends, Michelle, and she is going to talk to us all about tostadas. So we're going to do some more Mexican cooking dishes, and I'm so excited about this one. Everything looks so yummy.
Oh, I can't wait to eat it. I eat these all the time, and every time that I cook them, I'm like, oh, this is so good. And I'm talking about cooking, but this cooking is like, if you don't know how to cook, this is a recipe for you. So today we're making tostadas, and this is something that I make with my kids all the time. And actually right now that are teenagers, they can make them by themselves because they can do the washing of the vegetables and then the cutting, okay? Perfect. But we're gonna start by showing you the tostadas because I'm sure that you have a question. What is a tostada?
Yeah, well, I was asking her before, what's tostadas compared to tacos?
That's right. So, well, with tacos, we normally, what we use is a soft tortilla, right? So with tostadas, what we want is to use these hard tortillas. So these, normally you will buy them at the store, and I have one of the bags in here, but they have different brands. So you can just go to the store and get your tostadas. But in Mexico, I grew up in the city, and we have tortillerias. A tortilleria is the place where you buy your tortillas. So you buy your tortillas, or you can buy your tostadas. But I worked for many years in a small town. So I was looking at the roofs, like the houses, and I was like, what are they putting there? So they put a tablecloth, and then they place their tortillas, and that's how they dry them to make tostadas.
Wow.
I thought it was like, no, I'm not eating those.
I don't want to eat that one.
I think I just get the ones from the store. So I'm sure that they have more food safety regulations.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the ingredients that we need for our tostadas. These are very simple tostadas. And most of the times in Mexico, you will eat a chicken tostada, but we also have Tinga Tostada, okay? And Tinga is basically shredded beef. Okay. So shredded beef, and they're really good too. But if you live in Mexico around the coast, you can also eat shrimp tostadas or ceviche tostadas. So they are really good. So I'm saying all these because if you don't have chicken, you can put whatever you want.
Any meat that you like, or even make it vegetarian.
That's
probably.
right. Yeah. Yes, yeah, because this is what I call my plate dish. Because you're going to have your protein, you're going to have your grains, you're going to have your veggies, so everything is there.
Like a one-plate meal.
That's right. Yeah. So another thing that I like about this meal, like I said, it is so easy, but it also is very affordable because you can make it with leftovers.
Oh,
you
perfect.
see in here that we have a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah.
And this is what we're going to use to make 8 tostadas. Perfect. So we don't need a lot of ingredients. And one thing that we're going to use, this is a very important ingredient, is refried beans. You can do black beans or you can do pinto beans. And my mother-in-law would be very upset if she knew that I was using beans from the can. But this is what we're going to use today. They don't have the same flavor like my mother-in-law used to make, but because my mother-in-law used to make them with lard.
Oh, okay.
So not good for you, but they were really good, delicious. So today we're using this brand, and I like this brand because it has half of the fat. So and it's very low in calories, like 80 calories for half of a cup. So normally they will be 160.
So when you're buying, you want to look for the fat-free.
That's right.
I have seen a couple different ones at the store that are fat-free, and usually
And you need to be very, very careful with that because right now they're adding other things. So if you don't like spicy fried beans, within this brand, they also have refried beans with jalapenos and with meat and with other ingredients. But for this recipe, I would say with plain refried beans, we're good.
Perfect. Sounds delicious.
So another ingredient that is very important is the chicken, right? So we're going to use not that much chicken. So can be a leftover from, how you call it, rotisserie?
Rotisserie?
I can't say that word. So that's what I had yesterday for lunch. And this is my leftover. And today we're eating chicken tostadas.
And it's something different. So I love leftovers that you can use something and make it into a completely different meal. So you aren't eating the same thing every day.
That's
Helps to make it a little bit more fun.
Now, Thanksgiving is coming, right?
Yes.
And sometimes we have a lot of turkey. Guess what?
Turkey tostadas.
That's right.
I will definitely be doing that one.
Now we can have sandwiches and we can have tostadas.
Yes, yum.
So one thing the way we're gonna start today is by reheating our chicken. And if you don't have leftovers, just make one chicken breast. You can boil or you can grill it, and that will be your chicken for your tostadas.
Perfect.
But we're gonna start by reheating our chicken.
Okay.
We may need to add a little bit of oil for the chicken, but I think the beans will be okay.
Let's actually take a quick break, Michelle. We'll do that first, and then when we get back, we'll start reheating some of our stuff and making our tostadas.
That's great.
Every year, 7 million 911 calls are made in North Carolina.
911, what's your emergency?
Will you answer the call? Every second counts. You can be that lifeline. People in crisis look to us for assistance. We provide guidance and support until physical help can arrive at the scene. Join us and make a difference in our community. Be the calm in the chaos. Be the voice in the dark. It's the hardest career you'll ever love. Will you answer the call? Discover more at it.nc.gov/911careers.
All right, so I did a little bit of oil in our pan, and that was perfect for us to take that break so that our oil could get nice and heated a little bit. So I just have it on low. I don't have it really high up because we're just reheating. We're not doing anything.
And we want to be sure that we're not drying our chicken. So we just want to reheat the chicken. And if you don't want to do it in the stove, you can always put it in the microwave.
Perfect.
You can add a little bit of oil if you're doing it in the microwave, or just put a little bit of water just to have that moisture.
Now, you said this was from a rotisserie chicken, so is it a mix of the white meat and the dark meat, or did you just do?
And that is depending on you. If you want to save some calories, just do white meat. If you want, I want a little bit of everything.
I was gonna say a little bit of extra flavor, because that's what we get with that dark meat.
Yes. I was trying to just sound really healthy.
Now, we were talking about Thanksgiving and turkey, and so how you could use turkey instead of this chicken. So I know Thanksgiving's an American holiday. Do y'all typically celebrate?
We don't celebrate, but if food is involved, we start celebrating whatever has food involved. Well, we talk about the Thanksgiving celebration. I'm going to pass these to you so we can reheat our beans. And I think the recipe says like 1 cup, but I normally up in the whole, I put the whole can because we can always use more beans in our tostadas. Yeah. But like 3 years ago, we have a friend that she started inviting us to Thanksgiving. So normally, and during this celebration, you have traditional plates. So we bring our own tradition.
Fun.
So now we mix again Mexican tradition with American tradition, and it's all about having friends around. And we don't have a lot of family here in the United States, so our friends are our family.
Yes, I have a lot of friends that are family as well. And I think those are the best kind of family to have.
That's right. You choose that family.
You get to choose them. Yeah, exactly. And I love when we're talking about traditions and trying to kind of learn. I love learning more about Mexico and the traditions that you and your family have, and the tortillas on the ceiling.
On the roof. On the roof.
Yeah. It's just very interesting, I think. So
it is. I think that's what
it.
makes it so special when you travel from one country to another one, or from one state to another one. It's when you really can understand people. Yeah. I love that, we're so blessed that we have that opportunity to live. We lived for so many years in Mexico, and now coming to the United States, it really makes you to appreciate what you have. When my children complain about something, I said, oh, we're going to have a trip to Mexico. And
you will learn.
Yes, because we want, we have beautiful things in Mexico and we have beautiful things in North Carolina. And I think it's about embracing both cultures.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, it looks like it's going really, really good. So I'm going to start putting my tostada in my plate.
Perfect.
I think I'm going to make mine first, and then you make yours.
Okay, I will learn from you.
Okay. So I'm going to, what do you think? And like I said, you know what, Sydney? This is a really good recipe when we're in the middle of natural disaster. Because if you notice in here, all things come from a can. And so you don't really need to reheat anything. So this is something that you can have in your pantry. And if you can cook or you don't have any power.
Perfect, yeah. As long as you have refrigeration, because maybe the lettuce would, but yeah, I mean.
But even if you're growing your own tomatoes.
Or lettuce.
Yes. So we're going to start by putting my beans on my tostada. Okay. And I will recommend if your children are doing it, just have a container ready and will be so much easier. So I'm putting my beans in here.
Yum.
This is like the peanut butter in the bread.
So you spread it over the whole entire
thing? Yes. And again, and I just feel like this is a recipe that is very kid friendly because most of the ingredients, I think kids love it. Okay. So I have my beans ready. And now we're going to start by putting some of these lettuce. And my husband says that the order, it doesn't matter, but it matters to me. But you can do your tostada the way you want it. So I'm going to put the lettuce in here. I'm making a mess. Now I'm going to put some chicken. I'm going to use the same.
I was going to say.
Okay. Oh my goodness, this is just so good. And you see what I'm talking about? You can use any meat and that will be really, really good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put some tomatoes. And you know what is the funny thing that I observed, like a different from one state to another one, they cut the tomatoes in a different way. Some tomatoes are just cubed, and in another state they serve it with a sliced tomato.
Oh, okay.
So, I didn't talk about these. Let me talk about these. This is Mexican cream, or we call it crema. And normally you will find it in the refrigerator. I do not buy that one because I like to have it ready. So I think in the next segment, we can talk more about crema.
Okay. We will see you guys back in just a second.
Experiencing slow internet? If you have a fast internet package, the problem is most likely your wireless router. With more devices using Wi-Fi, your wireless router may not be able to deliver the speed and coverage you need. We now have the leading solution to enhance your internet experience. Using small devices in a mesh network, these Wi-Fi appliances cover just about any size home so that all your devices can operate to their fullest potential. Whole home Wi-Fi from Star Communications. Get the most out of your internet connection.
All right, welcome back, guys. So we have our refried beans all done. I went ahead and turned our stovetop off, and we're good. We're ready to fully assemble, and we were going to talk about the crema next.
That's right. So I was saying that we use this crema because we do not like the one from the refrigerator. You can get it from the store, but we don't use the whole thing. Normally it comes like in this size, and I just prefer to have this one. That way, it doesn't go bad and we can use it all the time. So this is media crema, and you can actually buy this one in low calories too. I didn't find it this time, but this is only 40 calories for 1 tablespoon, a little bit high. So I should get the other one. So, but this is really good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the crema, and just be sure that you mix it really good, or you shake your can really good before you open it. And you can see this crema is not, it's kind of like the sour cream, but it's not sour. So I really like it.
Now, if you don't shake it, it probably separates, like the water and the cream starts to separate.
So that's what I like to always. And you can put it in the refrigerator and it will have a better consistency. So like thicker consistency. So now I need to say that normally I would not put chunky salsa in my tostada. Normally I use green salsa, but I couldn't find it at the store this time. But green salsa is really good. So you should try it with green salsa.
My husband loves green salsa. It's one of his favorites.
And really, it's not worth it. I tried to make it with tomatillos, but normally we don't get really good tomatillos in here. So just buying it from the can is okay. Oh, and this is Queso Fresco. This is one of my favorites. I can't wait to eat this.
It looks so good.
So this is really, really good. So Queso Fresco is a little bit salty. So some people will add a little bit of salt or pepper on top of the tostada. I don't like to do that because, like I say, I don't eat a lot of salt. And I think the Queso Fresco between the Queso Fresco and the salsa gives enough flavor. And especially if your chicken is already, marinade or something, it has a good flavor.
And one thing that I feel like I've heard more about cotija cheese, more so than the Queso Fresco. So what's the main difference between the two?
They're very similar, but I really like Queso Fresco better. I think Queso Fresco is less salty. I think cotija has a little bit more of salty, maybe a little bit more creamer than Queso Fresco.
Yeah.
And that's just Queso Fresco means fresh cheese.
Well, we like fresh cheese,
so
right?
It's your turn.
Okay, so now I get to make mine.
I'm going to move this way.
Okay. Now, we saved something from our last show that I'm really excited to maybe put on mine. And Michelle can tell me when to layer these. I know
This is your tostada, so
there's no way, but Michelle says there's a way, then there's probably a way.
No, but this is your tostada, so you can choose.
Okay, so we have our pico de gallo from our last show that we did, and we have a little leftover guacamole as well.
Yes.
Yum. So I'm gonna I start with my tostada, right? And then I do my beans.
So you wanna use the small spoon? Maybe it will be easier.
That will be perfect.
And be sure that when you buy your tostadas, and you're going to learn this if this is your first time making tostadas, some tostadas get wet really quick, so in others I hold it a little bit better. If you notice, I was making my tostada and it stayed there, so this is a good tostada.
It feels really crisp, and I mean, it reminds me of like tortilla chips that you would eat.
That's right.
It's nice and crispy.
And it's basically the same. That's the way they make tortilla chips. They just cut it.
Yeah. Perfect. So then I do
your lettuce.
My lettuce. This looks nice and crispy too.
Yes. So another way, I don't know if you remember that in the last show we were talking about the ceviche that you can do, like tuna, and this is another way that you can just make your pico de gallo with the tuna and just eat
it on this tostado.
Yes.
Tostada.
And tostada for different countries means different things. Sometimes, like in Mexico, we know that this is a tostada, but for other countries, it may be just a toast bread.
Oh, so a piece of bread.
Yes.
Interesting. All right, so would I maybe do pico de gallo instead of tomatoes?
That's right. You don't want to do the, and again, this is great because if you have leftover of pico de gallo, it's better to use it.
Yeah.
Because you have more flavor there. But if you have picky eaters at home, they don't like the onion, so just do tomatoes. Cindy, you don't think this will be really good, like when they do like a taco bar?
Yes.
But instead of a taco bar, you do a tostada bar?
I would love that.
Good idea.
I think we're going to take a quick break, and then maybe I'll finish up my tostada in just a minute.
That sounds good.
After completing my contract, I still have to buy out of it? Come on. Here's your sign.
Switch to the sign that's keeping home secure and customers happy all over the area. Security from Star Communications. We pride ourselves on fair pricing and quick, friendly service every time.
Somebody trying to break into this place?
Security from Star Communications.
All right, so we're getting there with my tostada. I almost said taco. With my tostada, and it's looking good. My mouth's watering, my stomach's growling. I'm ready to eat.
That's right.
But I still have a few more things.
You just need, I don't like to put crema and guacamole together, but that's up to you.
Well, I want to try the crema because I've never had it.
Go ahead.
I think I will take your advice. I'll skip the guacamole for now. We have chips. We can have that on the side.
That's right.
It's our appetizer. That is the great thing about
And this
guacamole.
crema doesn't have a lot of flavor. So you're going to be surprised when you taste it because you're going to be expecting like the sour cream. No, this one is just very, very plain. But I think with all the other flavors is what gives
it
them.
blends. I feel like it's really, sometimes things might not necessarily be a very flavorful thing, but it's I don't want to say it's important, but it is a big part of making a dish because it blends together, everything together.
It helps to balance the flavors because you don't want all these strong flavors and then you just don't know what you're getting, right? So, but when you put all these flavors together, it's like, oh, okay. A little bit of cheese is going to help with the salt that is missing from the crema. I
Yeah.
don't know.
This is perfect. This looks so good. So what are some other things that maybe you have in Mexico that's more of a common food or that it might be different than what we have here?
So we have a lot of, I think, when you try to eat in the United States, we don't give justice to Mexico because from one part of Mexico to like from the north to the south, we have completely different dishes.
Wow.
So I live in Puebla for 15 years and we eat a lot of like semitas, and that is a big like sandwich that it has, you can eat with pork, with different meats. And then we have mole, and the mole is one of the traditional foods from Puebla. And mole is made with chocolate and peppers. So it is a great combination because it really, and it's brown and it's this beautiful sauce that you put on top of different things. And you may be familiar with enchiladas.
Yes.
So normally enchiladas and here they serve them red or green. In Mexico, we also have enchiladas de mole. So those enchiladas are those are the ones that we eat in here. We make our own. And let me see. So in the South, when I met my husband, he's from Yucatan, he has cochinita pibil. And cochinita pibil is delicious. It's like your barbecue, and it's like, but they only cook cochinita pibil in the south of Mexico. Like if you go to the north, they don't even know what it is. And the cochinita pibil is basically, how, I don't know if they still doing the barbecue under the ground in here, but
not as common, but yeah, I mean,
so
some
it used to be. It used to be that way for the cochinita pibil, and cochinita is pork, and we use achiote. So the achiote is a paste that is made with different spices, and then you mix it with sour orange juice. So when you mix that, you kind of rub the pork, and you cooked it under the ground. We do it in the oven now.
Yeah.
So, but you actually cover the cochinita or the pork with banana tree.
Leaves?
Leaves.
Interesting.
Yes. So we cook it, and that gives like a very good like moisture. It's moisture and it's very tasteful. Let me see what else. We have panuchos, and that is another type of tortilla. And we put different things, like very similar to a tostada, but it tastes completely different. And in the south of Mexico, we use a lot of red onions, and we put red onions on top of everything.
Yum. That sounds so good. I feel like we need to take a trip to Mexico
Come
with
on, let's
Michelle,
go.
and you can just show us all the things to eat.
We need to do that.
Now, if we went to the local, we have Tropicana, which is a Hispanic grocery store, and they have lots of really interesting different foods. Their produce section is amazing. They have the most beautiful produce I have ever seen. But there's a lot of things that I've never tried before, and I'm a little like, what is that? How do I use that? So what are maybe some things that we might see and what maybe we can do with those?
Well, the most important is that you talk with the owners of the store. And there's some things like, and again, it's like in here by season. So if you're like, I think during the winter time is when we have jicamas. I don't know if you have seen it. Looks like a potato, but it's like a different shape, kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. We need to do that next. So jicamas are really good, and you just peel them. They're brown from the outside and they're white inside, and you put lemon and salt, and they're delicious.
Do you cook it or do you eat it?
Just eat it like that. And it has kind of like a flavor like an apple, but it's not as sweet as an apple. And it's like crunchy. So that is delicious. Yeah. But just, like I say, go to the store, talk about, ask those questions about what are they selling, and I'm sure they're gonna tell you what to get.
Yum. Well, I'm so excited to eat our tostadas. I cannot wait to try it. Thank you, Michelle, again for being on the show. We have just learned so much, and I just absolutely love learning about you and all the things you have experienced. So we can't wait to see you again sometime.
Thank you. And now I'm going to go and try my tostada.
I'm ready to eat. Bye, guys.
Bye. Like, I hate this because my nose will touch it.
You got it piled so high.